Hello, welcome to part 5 of my series Introduction into HTML. So I'm just going to round a few things off here. This series was simply a basic overview of HTML to give you a broad idea of what HTML is. In the future, I'll create more in-depth and more detailed videos. Um, do keep in mind that we also haven't touched any styling in this series. So in the future, I'll do a CSS series as well to help with the styling of our HTML. In terms of formats, now I did talk about indentation and nesting and all that. At the end of the day, it's completely up to you how you would like to format and how you would like to style. Now, these are just some general conventions that people tend to use and tend to follow. But at the end of the day, it is up to you how you would like to indent and space your code. Now, that takes me to my next point. Spaces in HTML don't affect the elements. Now, I'll give you an example with the web page that we had made. So this is our web page, right? Chris Evans. Now, under featured films, I'll add a bunch of spaces, right? I'll save that. Now, if I go to our web page, featured films, refresh, featured films. So you can see that that space did not add anything or affect the final rendering of the web page. And that is also why that you can technically have your HTML all in a single line. Next, you can actually point your image source to a local file. Now here I've created a file called HTML example, and in this folder I've got our HTML file, and I've also got a Chris Evans JPG. So in our source here, we're going to change this to point to this JPG. Now, the HTML example folder is what we call the root. So it's the very first level of the project, right? So in the root, we've got two files. We've got the intro.html and we've got chrisevans.jpg. Now, we're going to use what's called relative pathing. And with the relative pathing, the path is relative to one another, to each file. So in this instance, we're in the intro.html in the source. We want to point to this Chris Evans, which is in the same level as intro.html. So what we do is we start off with a dot and a dash, and that points to the current directory or the current folder that we are in. And then we add Chris Evans, or whatever the name of your JPG is, .jpg. And it's as simple as that. Save, go back to our web page, refresh, and as you can see, it's changed to this new image that we have added. We'll shift this image one level deeper. More often than not, when you're working with HTML, you put all your assets into a folder called assets. So now the pathing from the root, we then go to assets folder and do another slash, and then put in the image name dot and the file extension. We'll save that and confirm that it's working. Refresh, and there you are. So it's still working. Now that's called relative pathing. Do check out MDN and W3 Schools. They have things, for example, details on available attributes for each HTML element. So we did touch on attributes, but if you want to find out what other attributes are available to different HTML elements, you can check these websites. So this is MDN Web Docs, and it's got a bunch of information on HTML, introduction to HTML, and a list of all different types of HTML elements. Right, so you can see here a long list, and same as here in W3 Schools, got all this information on HTML. And that's it for my beginner series introduction into HTML. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was helpful. If it was, do leave a like and feel free to subscribe. Leave some comments on how I can improve, and I'll see you in the next one.